Which fellow pop star has Ed Sheeran been writing songs about, if fan speculation is to be believed? Which TV co-stars had to keep working together for years after getting married and then quickly divorced? Clearly, fame is no cure for messy relationships. Pop superstar Taylor Swift is famous for having relationships with some of the most famous men on the planet, as well as writing hit songs about her breakups. One such tune is All Too Well, which fans believe details her split with actor Jake Gyllenhaal. The two reportedly began dating in late 2010, and the relationship had already fizzled before the year was through. In 2012, Swift released her album Red, and fans were quick to dissect the meaning of the lyrics, particularly those in All Too Well, as they fixated on the mention of her scarf that he kept. Fast forward nearly 10 years after the album's initial release, as Swift began re-recording and re-releasing her old albums, including Red. The 2021 edition featured a 10-minute version of All Too Well, and subsequently reignited the years-old drama, as fans looked for more lyrical clues about Gyllenhaal. During an appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers, the host asked Swift how her lyrical muses might feel about her songs, to which she replied,
"I haven't thought about their experience, to be honest.
I think that's the biggest burn."
Meanwhile, a source shared Gyllenhaal's thoughts on the matter, telling E! News, "Jake has no interest in any of it. He doesn't read gossip or pay any attention to that." Modern Family star Sofia Vergara was engaged to businessman Nick Loeb for 2 years. While they were together, they underwent fertility treatments in an effort to have a child. They froze 3 embryos at a California clinic and signed a contract agreeing that neither party could use the embryos without the other's consent. After their relationship ended, Loeb fought for custody of the embryos, hoping to implant them into a surrogate who would carry them until birth. He even brought the case to Louisiana, hoping that he would get a different outcome than he did in California. Loeb's attempt was futile, though, as the court granted Vergara a permanent injunction, barring Loeb from utilizing any frozen embryos without her consent, as was agreed upon in their contract. The outcome didn't sit well with Loeb, as he released a statement saying, "It's sad that Sophia, a devout Catholic, would intentionally create babies just to kill them." As of 2021, Loeb was still trying to gain custody of the embryos in Louisiana. British musician Sam Smith, who uses they/them pronouns, can credit much of their success to their 2014 debut album, In the Lonely Hour, which spawned multiple hit singles and received plenty of accolades. Smith had been dating actor-model Jonathan Zeizel during the recording of that album. The pair were reportedly together for a couple months and were quick to share their relationship with the world, as they posted pictures to social media, which Smith later regretted. In hindsight, the singer-songwriter doesn't look back too favorably on the relationship. As Smith told ES Magazine, "I would say it was a relationship, but I still feel like I haven't had a proper boyfriend." Smith got the last laugh, though, after writing their hit song Stay With Me, which was about their relationship with Zeizel. The musician took to the Grammys stage to publicly shade him again. As Smith put it during the acceptance speech, "I want to thank the man who this record is about, who I fell in love with last year. Thank you so much for breaking my heart because you got me 4 Grammys." In the mid-2000s, Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray were one of Hollywood's hottest couples. After meeting on the set of the iconic teen drama One Tree Hill, they started dating and then eventually got engaged. It didn't last long, though, as they announced that they were separating after only 5 months of marriage. But they kept working together on One Tree Hill until Murray's departure from the show in 2009. In 2014, after the show had ended and nearly 10 years after their split, Bush addressed the topic on an episode of Watch What Happens Live. As she noted, "My mother once said to me that if you don't have anything nice to say, not to say anything at all."
We were 2 stupid kids who had no business being in a relationship in the first place.
A few years later, Bush was talking with Andy Cohen again, this time on Radio Andy, as she revealed that she never wanted to get married. This didn't sit well with Murray, whose rep told Us Weekly, "This story is ludicrous. Chad conducts himself in a completely professional manner and would never marry for any reason but love." More recently, the exes don't really talk about each other anymore. As Bush put it on a 2012 episode of the Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum podcast, she doesn't want to discuss a decision she made as a dumb kid at 21, mainly because her words are often twisted around after the fact. Saturday Night Live star Pete Davidson is known for dating some of the most beautiful and famous women on the planet, and perhaps his most high-profile relationship happened when he was engaged to pop superstar Ariana Grande. They moved in together and were clearly quite smitten with each other, but alas, the engagement didn't last long. TMZ broke the news of their split, and it seemed amicable at first. Grande released her hit song, Thank You Next, which mentioned Davidson, as well as her other famous exes, and she also left him a message in the song's music video. Davidson also had kind words to say as he told Paper Magazine, "I hope she's well. I hope she's very happy." Davidson's perspective may have shifted in the years since, though, as he offered more of his thoughts about their breakup during his 2020 Netflix comedy special, Alive from New York. As he quipped,
"She won Billboard's Woman of the Year, and I got called Butthole Eyes by BarstoolSports.com.
Grande eventually returned the shade, at least according to a fan theory. As reported by People magazine, one lyric from her 2020 song Positions is, "I'm just hoping I don't repeat history," and she supposedly references Davidson in the Pete part of Repeat. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth were the power couple among the Disney Channel-obsessed millennial set. After meeting on the set of their 2010 film, The Last Song, they were in an on-again, off-again relationship for years, before ultimately tying the knot in 2018, only to separate just months later. Cyrus has left many hints about her past relationship in her music. During a 2020 appearance on The Howard Stern Show, the host asked her several questions about their relationship and specific references to her album Plastic Hearts. As she put it, "I don't get off on drama or fighting. I do not seek conflict at all. There was too much conflict." In addition to her musical Easter eggs, Cyrus left a comment on a TikTok video as she congratulated a couple on their engagement with the message, "Hope it goes better for you two than it did for me." Hemsworth hasn't had much to say about his ex-wife, though his older brother Chris Hemsworth has seemingly hinted at his feelings on the matter. As he said in an interview, "We got him out of Malibu." This was in reference to the younger Hemsworth moving from California back to his home country of Australia post-breakup. Dating a prolific singer-songwriter almost certainly means that part of your relationship is going to be immortalized in pop music, and the entire world is thereby going to have access to intimate parts of your life. That's especially true in the case of someone as famous as Ed Sheeran. Ellie Goulding learned this the hard way after Sheeran released his 2014 song Don't, in which he seemingly called out Goulding for sleeping with another man while they were together. Fans speculated that the track was about his ex. As Sheeran told Entertainment Weekly in 2015, he'd never actually confirmed the subject matter, though the song was still a necessary way to process anger. As he put it, "For me, it needed to be done. It didn't necessarily have to go on the album, but it definitely needed to be written." Goulding later wrote a song called On My Mind, which was seemingly about Sheeran. When 17 magazine asked her about it in 2016, she explained, "We've bumped into each other and we've hung out and stuff, but the thing is, if I hang out with someone, it's instantly like I'm dating them. We were never in a relationship. My song is not about him." For nearly a decade, pop music icon Madonna was married to English filmmaker Guy Ritchie. While they were together, she gave birth to a son and they adopted 2 children. Their marriage was marked by the underwhelming movie Swept Away, a rumored vow renewal, and a messy, expensive divorce. After the news of their divorce broke, details of their relationship were revealed that highlighted the dysfunction. As sources told People magazine, the two had disagreements for years over relationship needs, their children, and religion. In a 2012 interview with Newsweek, nearly 4 years after separating from Ritchie, Madonna all but confirmed the two had major issues by admitting, "Time goes by and you share a life, you have children, and there are cracks in the veneer. It's not as romantic as it used to be." While Madonna and Ritchie have maintained some sort of a relationship for the sake of their children, things still seem to be tense between them. As reported by the Daily Mail, they were spotted in 2020 at an art gallery event, as Ritchie appeared strained upon seeing his ex-wife, who left only 30 minutes later. As two of the most famous actors in the world, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie seemed destined to be with each other. Their relationship began after making 2005's Mr. and Mrs. Smith together, and immediately they were Hollywood's it couple. They had a few kids together, and Pitt even adopted the children that Jolie had adopted independently prior to the start of their relationship. They finally officially wed in 2014, putting a legal stamp on what seemed to be the perfect union. But the marriage didn't last very long. In 2016, Jolie filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Since then, she and Pitt have been involved in legal proceedings pertaining to their divorce, with issues ranging from custody agreements to the separation of their estate. In a 2021 interview with The Guardian, Jolie opened up as much as she could about the issues she and her children now face. When asked if she was referencing her divorce from Pitt, as well as the domestic violence allegations she leveled against him, she nodded yes. As she explained, "I'm not the kind of person who makes decisions like the decisions I had to make lightly. It took a lot for me to be in a position where I felt I had to separate from the father of my children."
It was a very difficult time, and we are a family, and we will always be a family.
As for Pitt, he's focused on the future. As a source told Us Weekly in December 2021, Brad hopes that one day he and Angelina find a way to forgive each other and move forward, for the kids' sake if nothing else. Rob Kardashian's personal life isn't any less complicated than that of his siblings. Since dating model Blac Chyna on and off for about a year, the two have had to maintain a relationship to co-parent their daughter. Alas, things between them have been anything but healthy. As of 2022, they're still involved in an intense legal battle. In September 2021, Kardashian filed new court papers that pertain to the ongoing domestic violence lawsuit he filed in 2017 against Chyna. In January 2022, E! News reported that the court had allowed Chyna's legal team to depose 3 of Kardashian's sisters and his mother for the case, striking down a motion they'd filed to be left out of the proceedings. Neither Kardashian nor Chyna have made public comments about the other recently, though the court proceedings speak volumes about their troubled relationship status. If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic abuse, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. You can also find more information, resources, and support at their website.